Good evening, kind hearts. Now I am Pranav. I am the sergeant at arms for the meeting. For the guests, think of me as a host who prepares the party before the main event. My role is very simple. Make this room fully energetic, make this room as loud as possible, and warm up the crowd to experience the magic within themselves. Because that's what is also the meeting theme for today, magic within you. Can we have? Okay, while it's loading, let me break the mystery. It will show you something which is real, which is existing in this room. You might have seen that while watching cricket matches.
No, no, हम तो project में गए थे. Project में से continue
Just give me a minute, folks. Let's stop.
No,
Huh.
it's okay.
You keep the laptop itself so that it becomes easier here. Okay, so I think we have some minor tech glitch, but folks who are able to see the screen, can you tell what's the number there?
21.
It's 21 decibels. And you would have seen something similar while watching cricket matches. So it simply measures the volume in the room. Now, let me tell you what else is at least above 21 decibel. Dishwasher, you have seen at your home. The volume of dishwasher is 65 decibels. So here's my challenge to you. Can we at least beat the dishwasher? And can we at least be louder than a dishwasher? So let's try one more time. I saw it's around 80 decibels. The crowd at Narendra Modi Stadium when India won the World Cup final. Can you guess the volume meter that time? 130 decibels. The loudest Toastmasters meeting at district level. Can you guess the energy level there? 96 decibels. And we are sitting at 80 decibels. I think we can do at least better than that. But for that, I'll give you one more moment. I am splitting this room into 3 sections. My left section until Sangam is section 1. This section, which is Devshah's row, and this section is middle section, which is section 2. And my right is section 3. So section 1, your name is kindness. Section 2, your name is courage. And section C, your name is resilience. These are the 3 inherent magical qualities in a human being, right? Kindness, courage, resilience. Your job is pretty simple. When I point at you, you need to shout your group name. That's it. Pretty simple, right? So let's stand up. And let's do a quick rehearsal. Maybe let's start with group number 1. When I point at you and say go, you need to just shout your group name. Resilience. Okay, so let's do that.
Courage. Resilience. Courage. Resilience. Kindness. Kindness.
Thank you. Now we are all a common group. So let's rename ourselves as one common group, which is magic. Okay, and let's do the same thing again. Yes, so that's the magic of this room. And today we are experiencing that magic within ourselves in this meeting. Now, before I hand it over to our presiding officer, let me walk you through about a quick history of Toastmasters. Back in 1924, a man named Ralph C. Smedley believed actually that every ordinary person has an extraordinary voice inside them. And with that belief, he found Toastmasters International with a simple belief that let me help people find magic within themselves. Today, around 270,000 members spread across 148 countries with that same belief that as a Toastmaster International, we will help people find magic within themselves and make their leadership skills shine. Bright Hearts is one such chapter at Toastmasters International. And today's meeting theme is magic within you. Now, with that, let me introduce a person who's an experienced delivery manager. He doesn't just delivers projects magically, but he delivers every single meeting with immense magic. A person who has not only found magic within himself, but he came back and helped others find magic within themselves. And this person has started learning AI, and because of that effect, you can see that reflecting on his head. With that, let me welcome Sai Varghese.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav, for that lovely introduction and getting the decibels high. Good evening. How's the Josh? Hi. Great. So that's called high decibel. So Pranav talked about Toastmasters. Let me talk a little bit more about Bright Hearts. Bright Hearts was first chapter in September 2024, and in the first year, we won the President's Distinguished Award. What does that mean? Every club from Toastmasters gets some points for meeting certain goals, whether it's education, which is completing the pathways, or having members in. So the first year, the highest award that can be granted to a club was the President Distinguished Award, and that we got. This year, Toastmaster International raised the bar. They said, get 10 points, DCP points, and you will get Smedley Distinguished Award. And guess what? Bright Hearts is the second club in District 129 to get that award. So please give a round of applause here. So with that, let me do a quick exercise for all the Bright Hearts folks. How many of you have read the minutes of the meeting? Yes. Okay. Okay. So here's what I'll do, right? I will start by asking a question. Okay. I'll point to a person, I'll ask a question, the person will answer the question, and then he or she gets the opportunity to ask a question to another member. Okay, and we will continue that. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes to pick up your phone, look at the minutes of the meeting, and go through it. Timer, let me know at 2 minutes. Phones out. 2 minutes.
For guests on Instagram, you can find us on Bright Hearts Toastmasters, and if you want to check out our not student management.
Okay. Okay, now let's start off. First question. Pooja, who won the best table topic speaker in last week's meeting?
I will see.
Okay, Sujay.
Maria.
Okay, now you get a chance to ask a question from the minutes of the meeting to any member.
Okay, we'll ask to Sirma. What Badri talked about two of his interests during his speech, which were two interests. One is cricket. Okay.
Fast, let's do it fast. And
Okay, cricket and is about career in India.
okay, now Srinath, you get a chance to ask a question. Pick fast, fast. Okay, Akshay.
The best speaker was Aditya.
Now Akshay.
Oh my God.
I think, where is the? Okay, I'll pick, Priyansh. What did our speaker Aditya talk about in a nutshell? The best speaker. We talked about how he handled the crisis when he was handling like in a Zoom meeting or something. So he had to organize a meeting in Mumbai where he had to bring in all the people in his office were like, no, we can't afford that. They came and
Okay. Priyansh, last question, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Come on, Priyansh, fast. You should know the minutes.
I picked Sangam. Yes. That. What was the debate topic for the guest lecture?
Oh my
God.
You can look at it.
Share about his school experience.
Okay, so what did we learn from that? Two things. One is life sometimes gives you very short time to gather so much of information, and then you need to figure out which information you need to pick, right? And the second thing that you learn is the subtle art of delegation. I could have asked all the questions, but I delegated all that. Okay, with that, we go to a session where we would love to hear from the guests. So I would like to invite the guest over. Tell us your name. How did you hear about Bright Hearts? And tell us something very interesting about you. So let me start with Arpit.
Hi everyone, hi Bright Heart Masters. My name is Arpit. I am from Surat. I am currently working in Walmart as a software engineer. What was the
Anything interesting about you?
okay? Anything interesting? Can't find anything. I like to read a lot of novels.
Thank you, Arpit. We have a lot of readers here, so connect during the break and you can now find a lot of readers. Can I have Srihari?
Hi everyone, I'm Srihari. I'm an engineer by profession. I work with a company called Adyen, and Adyen does payment processing. It's originally a Dutch company, it does payment processing, and recently came to India. I don't really have anything interesting about me. Maybe I can check my heart rate. It's around 144 now. Usually it's around 70, so that kind of explains why I'm here. Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, Thierry, and I know that moment when, heartbeat rises. So can I have one more guess? Come on, guys, clap more.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shankar. I'm a manager at EY. Interesting fact about me is that I'm an avid board gamer. I've got about 300 board games at home.
Oh, I love both the Okay, with that, I declare the meeting 77. Today's theme is about magic, right? I remember, and it's also special month for me because last April was the first time I came to Bright Hearts as a guest. And the first time the president, Akshay, called me on stage, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do, right? Just talking about myself was very difficult. 1 year down the line, it changed. I'm here being the presiding officer and taking up roles almost every week, right? So that change that Bright Hearts brought that, gave that magic in me. So today, we have a special person to take us through a magic. And that person is so much full of love that her parents named her that. So please welcome our Potterhead, Toastmasters Day.
Moving through life in our everyday routine, we often miss the tiny things that make life magical. We wake up when the alarm goes off. We go through the day mechanically. Sure, some of us do manage to find an hour or two in between for doing things that we like some of the days, if not every day. But when was the last time you paused to appreciate that one kind act from anyone that turned your bad day into a not so bad one, if not a good one? So, those are the things that make life and everyday routine magical, that make it worth living. Last week, on a busy weekday, I was trying to book a cab to go home. Bangalore being Bangalore, I was not finding any cabs. Or the cab drivers accepted the ride only to cancel it just before reaching the location. I waited for more than an hour. My frustration level was at peak. Finally, after an hour and 15 minutes, I got a cab. I got into the cab, and soon after that, I got a call from my friend. She was flustered that she had bought a new necklace and she had missed it during her swimming session. I was frustrated, she was flustered. I could not think of anything to tell her other than go look properly in the food, you'll find it, and cut the call. Meanwhile, the cab was crawling at snail's pace through the traffic. The driver turns to me after some time and asks, in a very polite way, "Ma'am, why is the map showing this long road? I can just take a left here and the destination is just there." And I told him, "No, Baya, that's a one way. It's not possible to go that way. We have to go through the longer road the map shows." He smiled resignedly, nodded, and kept driving. That conversation could have gone in any number of different ways. We all know how annoyed a person can become driving through bad traffic. He could have asked that same question to me in a frustrated voice. Instead of smiling, he could have given an irritated look and kept driving. But no, he did not do any of that. His way of talking changed the way I responded as well. I realized this as I was sitting in the cab. I immediately called my friend back and gave her the kind words that she needed to hear. My house help came and offered to help me out when I was sick on her day off. She gets 1 day off in a week. and she offered to come and help me out. When we saw the security guards in our society sitting under a broken umbrella on a rainy day, we pulled in money to get a new umbrella and jackets for the entire security. One act of love, one gesture of kindness can change not only the way, not only the person whom the act is performed, but it creates a chain reaction. And that is the magic that I'm talking about. Our meeting today has three sections. The first is the prepared speeches, where three of our speakers will come and deliver the speeches that they have prepared over the last few weeks. This will be followed by a short break, and then we have the table topics section, where members and guests are welcome to come on stage and deliver a 1 to 2 minute short impromptu speech on a topic that is given to them by the table topics. This will be followed by the evaluation section, where the biggest magic happens. All the speakers who delivered a speech will get feedback so that their upcoming speeches will be more magical. Now, to oversee the entire proceedings of the meeting and highlight the tiny magical things that happened in the meeting, we have a general evaluator. When I asked him to share a moment of kindness from his life, he shared about how when he first moved to Bangalore, he was finding it hard to find healthy home cooked meals. He was missing home food. He and his friend were sitting on the road near a shop and ranting about this. The shop owner heard their rants and came and offered to cook healthy homestyle meals for them every day. A helping hand from the stranger helped him settle down into an unknown city with. I call Priyansh to explain his role as gentleman.
Words are, in my not so humble opinion, are most inexhaustible source of magic, capable of both inflicting injury and remedifying it. Who said this famous quote? Can anyone take a guess? Yes, that's correct, Harry Potter. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just like Dumbledore was the headmaster of Hogwarts, treat me as the headmaster of Bright Hearts, meeting number 77. The theme of today's meeting is the magic within you. What better day than today to help get the magic inside this room to the next level? And this magic will come in a form of constructive feedback. And I have a team of magicians who's going to help me to evaluate this full meeting from start to the end. With this, I'll call on the first magician of the day. His wand are red, green, and yellow cards. Please help me welcome the timer of the day, Toastmaster Dharmendra.
Terminendu Vyadakarastu Maulisu Kadachata. In Sanskrit we say, and Hindi there is saying कि कर्म अगर आप अच्छा किए हैं तो फल भी मिलेगा, अच्छा मिलेगा. But having said that, if you do something so much for someone and in return you want something, that is not kindness. So since today we are going to speak about kindness, it is also important to know what is not kindness. So if you think like I have done so much for that person, that girl, or that someone who you have thought that I have done so much, and then in return you expecting I should have been get something out of that. That is not kindness. I need to do the reality check. Having said that, my name is Dharmendra Kumar, DT Toastmasters. I'll be timing the time of the table topic speakers, general speakers, formal speakers, and evaluators. I will be also reminding each and every speakers for alerting their timings by raising the three difference card. I will be having a green, yellow and red cards. So coming to the table topic speakers will be given or remark will be evaluated within I think 1 to 2 minutes, sorry. So at 1 minute, I'll be raising the green cards and 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card and 2 minutes, I'll be raising the red cards. Now, we have here ice breaking speakers. For that, the remarks will be evaluated within 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I'll raise the red card. We have speakers in prepared speeches segment where prepared speakers will be given 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Now, we have also general evaluators. For that, I'll be evaluating, and their timings will be 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green cards, and at 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card, and 3 minutes, I'll raise the red cards. I'll generally report my evaluation at the end of the speeches when called upon by the speakers, general evaluators, sorry. And at that point, I'll be showing the timing which I have kept on my notes. So thank you so much. With that, having said that, I'll call on the podium general evaluator Priyans.
Now, my second magician is the person whose bond is his ears. He will hear all the unwanted sounds you make on the stage. Please help me welcome the counter of the day, Toastmaster Avinash.
Good evening, fellow bright hearts and dear guests.
Good evening.
When I heard the word magic, it took me back to my 8th grade. I had to choose an elective between geography and advanced mathematics. My parents, they had really high hopes for me, and they wanted me to become an engineer. So I chose mathematics, but it was super tough, and I was not able to understand anything. My brother, he realized how frustrated I am, and I was on the verge of giving up. So he came to me and said, "Look, I know it's difficult, but I'm going to give you an advice. If you keep on trying this maths problem for the next 22 days, your brain will eventually grasp it." Looking back, I don't think he ever followed this rule himself, but I followed his advice. And it was like magic. I became really good in maths and it became my favorite subject. But the real magic isn't in the 22 days. I think it's in the discipline. I was constantly putting in the effort every single day. The same logic can be applied to speaking as well. Small habits makes big difference. Here at Bright Hearts, we follow the habit called as CRPF. C stands for crutch words, overused words like so, well, you know, R stands for repetitions, repetitive words like I, this means. P stands for pauses. Unnecessary pauses can break the rhythm of the speech. However, not all pauses are bad. A well-timed pause can actually help the audience to absorb your message. F stands for filler sounds, sounds like ah. This basically breaks the delivery of your message. So now that we know what CRPF are, I encourage all the speaker to avoid using these words. And in today's meeting, I'll carefully listen to each of the speaker and note down how many times each of the speaker have used them. At the end of the meeting, I'll present my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you.
Now the third magician in my team, his wand is his vocabulary skills, which he will put in to observe all the good and not so good usage of English on the stage. Please help me welcome grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Varun.
How many of you guys have read Harry Potter books or watched Harry Potter movies? Could you please raise your hands? Thank you. For all those who raise your hands, I have a question. When Harry first came to Hogwarts, what is the one thing that is different from magical world to real? What is the one simple thing which is different from magical world compared to the real world?
He was happy.
Sorry,
He was happy.
happy. Okay.
His car was respected.
Okay. Any objects or anything which comes from, which you clearly distinguish, which is happening completely differently in the magical world?
He got friends.
Very nice.
So he got
He had a wand to.
Brooms, wands, right? So, one which is already used by the general evaluator. So it's not just the wands, it's also the spells. Exactly the words. If the words are used in the right way, something magical is happening in the fictional world, right? So let me try to cast one of those spells on the timer sheet. Let's see what happens to that. Wingardium Leviosa. Nothing happened. Let me try it once again. Wingardium Leviosa. Well, clearly I'm no Hermione Granger. And even in books and movies, it's shown that Ron Weasley, who is Harry's friend, didn't get it right when he tried to cast the spell for first time. Until Hermione told that it is Leviosa, not Leviosa. When finally Ron got it right, the feather lifts from the table. It's the same word, same spell, same intention, but right words were used. Inspired by this, I tried another spell from the books, which is Silentio, which if you cast a spell, someone will go completely silent. I tried to cast this spell on my manager during my Monday morning meetings when the quick sync was going for 2 hours. Unfortunately, the spell did not work, but I did learn a new skill that day, sleeping with my eyes wide open. But if you actually think about it, real world is not so different from the fictional world. In the real world, we use the words to lift someone's confidence, just like the feather from the table. We can mend the broken relationships, we can inspire a room full of people. And if the wrong words, even used with the best intentions, they do the complete opposite. That's the magic within us we carry every day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My name is Varun and I'm your grammarian for today. As a grammarian, I'll be noting down effective usage of words used by all speakers on the stage. I'll be highlighting the good phrases and also noting the places where we can improve together. Another part of my role is to introduce the word of the day. Today's word of the day is valor, which means the courage to do what is good even when it is hard. Example usage of valor is the greatest valor is in doing what is right even when it is wrong. Sorry, the greatest valor is to be kind even when the world expects you to be cold. Okay. So along with the word of the day, I have one small grammarian challenge to all the speakers and evaluators today. Try to use the rule of 3. Structure your idea in the pattern of 3. For example, instead of saying she is a good leader, try to say she is calm, decisive, and powerful. Instead of saying Toastmasters helped me, try to tell Toastmasters gave me confidence, clarity, and courage. See, it is very simple, but it greatly improves your vocabulary. I'll share my report at the end of the day when general evaluator calls. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun. Now my next magician is having special skills where he will use them, as his wand. Please help me welcome the listener for today's meeting, Toastmaster Sujit.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. Today, I'll be taking up the role of a listener, and my job is simple. Listen carefully, remember everything, and gently remind you later that I was paying more attention than you expected. Since our theme is the magic within you, I'll be searching for those little sparks, moments where your inner mission shows up. As a listener, I'll be noting powerful and memorable lines, interesting ideas, and those moments where you surprise even yourself. At the end, I'll be back with some standout moments and few questions. And for those who are listening closely, there will be sweet treats waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujit, for laying down the rules. To all the guests and Toastmaster present in the room, we follow few of the ground rules in the meeting. Please switch off your mobile phone or put them in silent mode. I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. The next rule is please do not cross talk while the speaker is speaking on stage. Please be mindful while talking about sex, religion, and politics because these are sensitive topics. And please do not move inside the hall. If you wish to do so, you can do so during the applause. The washrooms are behind that ropes. You can use them during at the time of break. Now, I will hand the stage to the Toastmaster of this, Sneha.
Raise your hand if you have that friend or friends whom you can call at 3 a.m. even if you don't. Friends, they are the person we turn to when we are in need. For me, my magical friend was my first roommate when I first moved back from my. I was scared and done. She stood by my side, also scared and done. We both held each other's backs as we navigated the various complexities life threw at us. How to iron clothes without burning them, how to cook edible food, relationships, breakups. To our first evaluator for the day, friends are his stress busters. They are like the bank lockers that he turns to when in need of financial aid. I invite Idango on stage to share the objectives of this target speaker.
The magic within me, I got to know that. Keep on coming on the stage, particularly Bright Talk stage. That magic brought me the confidence in front of audience. Thank you, Bright Talks. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear guest. Good evening. Every communicator start with their own story. Like that, today, we have our privilege to hear our first speakers of icebreaker speech. He is going to deliver is level 1, project 1. Timer, note down that speech timing would be 4 to 6 minutes. I request every audience give a standing ovation once our first speaker completed his speech. With that, I'm wishing very all the best to my first speaker of the day. With that, back to Toastmaster of the day, Sneha.
To our first speaker of the day, friendship is all about forming deep connections based on trust, comfort, and dependability. I invite Srinath on stage for his prepared speech. Srinath Tripathi, finding my voice, Srinath Tripathi.
Good morning, Briders. A boy landed on this earth on 22nd December 1997, and that boy was me. So here I am to share my story from the age of 1 to 28. So from childhood, I was being a very introverted kid. I spent almost all of my time watching television like Ben 10, Tom and Jerry, and all the Bollywood movie and Hollywood movie, not in English, in Hindi. I was good at study, so I secured a good mark on my 10th standard. Since there were no good +2 colleges nearby my area, my parents had put me on a boarding college for my +2 education. There my life was boring and I completely spent my 2 years only on study. The only good thing was there was finally I was able to make few friends and we are still in touch. I finally graduated from there and got a seat in one of the engineering college, or I would say government engineering college in Odisha. And then boom, my life changed 360-degree. When I entered to the college for the first time, I saw people were riding racing bike, starting from KTM, Apache, R15, and smoking cigarettes and living their life in their own term. And finally, I sensed what really freedom is. But during my second year, I had one accident. That was not physically that much tough, but mentally it affected me a lot. I barely go out from my room, meeting people, and this cycle continued till my 8th SEM. And finally, I got an offer from TCS. And my joining was 6 days after passing out from my college. Then I thought, okay, let's restart my life and join TCS. So I joined TCS Pune and my training has completed. And then suddenly my first salary got credited to my account. And it was a very special moment for me. I hope many of you can relate to it. But corporate has its own lesson. Initially, I thought every people around me was my family and friends. But later I found out that they are just good at doing politics and good at using their words. So it taught me one important lesson. If you are not playing politics game, you need to understand the game to survive in corporate. Then COVID started, I went back to my home and I was doing work from home there. That moment turned out to be a blessing in disguise for me. I spent 2 years with my parents and with my brothers, and I truly understood them during that time. And finally, then I switched back to Bangalore and I got a offer from new company. And later I found out that I observe people a lot without any judgment though. But when it comes to sharing my own thoughts, I was not able to express it, which made me to question myself. What's the point of having a thought idea if I'm not able to express it in front of people? So here I am to improve, to express, to value, and to grow. So this is my journey so far from an introverted kid from whom TV was his only best friend during his childhood to someone who is now trying to find his voice. Thank you.
Srinath just shared that he found the courage to come up on stage and is working towards his goals of overcoming the barriers for his public speaking. How many of you have done something that you felt very scared about? Something that you felt like you could not do it, but finally found the courage, summoned the courage, and achieved all this. My yoga trainer, Suraj, was an inspiration to all of us in his class. He unfortunately met with an accident. His leg was fractured. It took 3 months to recover. Even post 3 months, he was not able to come back and do all the asanas that he used to be a pro at, and which he was training us. But he did not shrink back. He had the courage to come before his students and accept that he could not do the asanas as a trainer, and went on to prove that he need not be able to do it himself in order to guide his students to achieve those asanas. Our second evaluator, Deepak, shows his courage by setting big targets and having a positive attitude when the times get tough. I invite Deepak to share the objectives for his targets.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Bright Hearts and yes, dear guests. The second speaker is going to take her level 1 project 4 today. Project 4 is feedback and evaluation. So whatever feedback and evaluation she has got, her areas, and that she should try to implement them in today's meeting. Yeah, that's the objective of it. And whatever evaluation we do now, you can take it further. That's all. I wish all the best, Junmei, for this.
To our second speaker, Jurmit, courage is showing up in difficult situations, handling it heads on. Giving up is not a term in her vocabulary. I invite Jurmit to give her speech. Jurmit Ahmed, show your presence. Show your presence, Jurmit.
Hello, everyone. As the title clearly states, show your presence, like here today. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever attended a workshop or meeting where you told yourself, I'm going to participate, actively show my presence, but you end up not speaking at all? Very Toastmaster and dear guest, like me, few of you have come across a situation, maybe it is in an office training or workshop, where the host will say, let's make this as a active session by active participation and an engaging session. And you tell yourself, I am going to show my presence. And when the host opens a line for everyone to speak up, then there's an awkward silence. Who is going to speak first? Who is going to break the silence? And you tell yourself, my chance will come, I'll speak next. But the next time never comes because somebody would have already told all the points that you wanted to say. and you beat yourself up for not saying it. And when a Q&A round comes, even though you have lots of questions and doubt, you wonder, if I ask, what if they think it's a silly question? And you don't ask again. So I'm not sure about you, but I have come across many such situations where I will be geared up and say, okay, I will actively participate, but I did not. And then I feel frustrated and annoyed because I had all the good points, but still I did not spoke. Then one day I came across one video of a very prominent motivational speaker. I was watching his interview when the interviewer asked him, how you are so talented. You have so much success and achievements in your life in so diversified field. How did you acquire all this? To that, the speaker told, I don't know whether I'm talented or not, but from very early on in my life as a child, whenever there was an announcement of any competition or contest, I just simply used to raise my hand. Even though I didn't know whether it's to dance, act, drama, I didn't have that skill, but still I participated. It might seem like a small act, raising your hand, but it has significantly shaped my personality. Because participating in all those contests, though I have not won many, but it has given me the confidence, and I was exposed to so many situations which make me a confident speaker that you see today. Then after watching that video, I started reflecting back on my life, and I recall one such incident when I was in MBA. There was an announcement to participate in a business fest. So my classmate, she raised her hand and she was pushing me to me, raise your hand. I said, no ways. Then she whispered, you know, we can bunk classes. It's like a 2-day event. And even better is that if we get disqualified, we can hang out in M0. And now that was an instant motivation. I immediately raised my hand. So we went there. But the spirit, the competitive environment got into us, and we became full confidence. We gave our 100%, and surprisingly, we won the first prize. And it was the start of many more such events. And even we got some popularity, both of us, and the HOD started nominating us because, of course, if you win, it brings recognition to the college. So I thought, let me apply those thoughts in my office. Why not? In the trainings or workshop. But you see, office is a totally different dynamic. College, nobody knew me, so there was no risk. But here, management is there, my boss is there, everyone will judge me. So how to make a start? So I started implementing a very small steps, as simple as soon as the host starts the line, I will switch on the camera, I'll greet the host, a simple hello, good morning or good evening. With that, I break the silence and make myself comfortable now that I have already spoke. And most likely, when you greet someone, that person is most likely to remember you, and the person will try to engage you during the session. So it may look like a very small step as showing and raising your hand that goes a long way to come across the situations in gatherings in like a crowded place. So friends, to show your presence in a crowded place, you don't need to be a very extraordinary person or talented or to be an expert. It begins with a very small step, as simple as saying hello, raising your hand, or speaking once. Because opportunity does not come to those who waits. It comes to those who creates it. So next time when you are in a gathering, just create your chance by just raising your hand, showing up, and speaking up. Thank you.
Raising your hand is tough. I know it because I was not raising my hand for the team or long ever. I have always shied away from it. But today I took it up And what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst? I'll fail it. How many of you have failed at something? How many of you have bounced back and tried it again? That is resilience. They say a young calf knows no fear. I was once overseeing my niece who was barely 3 years old during her swimming session. She was just entering the kids' pool. She slipped on the step and fell in. I immediately jumped in, lifted her up. She was crying inconsolably. I took her home and soothed her. Later, the next day, she comes running to me and says, "Mercy, swimming. Swimming? Aren't you scared of what happened yesterday?" No, I'll be careful from now on. I will make sure that my hold is firm. I'll not slip on the step. I'll be careful. Don't worry. She was asking me not to worry. I had not overcome the shock of her falling, and she had overcome it. Sometimes the little kids teach us invaluable life lessons. If we fall down, it doesn't mean that we have to stay there. We take the lessons from it, we move on, we try it again. What's the worst that can happen? To our third evaluator for the day, resilience is about adaptability. Having grown up in different cities all over India, he learned from different cultures, different people. That helped him build confidence and a better outlook towards the world and life and in life. I invite Aditya to share the objectives of his studies.
Thank you, Sneha. Good evening, everyone. My target speaker is going to spill some secrets today about her communication style. The objective of her project is to learn about different communication style and to identify her primary communication style and how it had impacted others. Timer, please note, 5 to 7 minutes is the length of the speech. With that, all the best to my target speaker and back to the room.
To our third speaker for the day, resilience means treating all setbacks as temporary and learning something from every challenge in the life. I invite Manjarika to deliver her speech. Manjarika Kandilu, adaptability is the key. Adaptability is the key. Manjarika.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
When I started this project, understanding my own communication style, I asked myself the most obvious question. What is my communication style? And the answer that popped off my head immediately was, my communication style was sending reels to people on Instagram. But fun aside, I really wanted to know what my communication style was. So I logged into the Toastmaster website and took the Find Your Communication Style test. After answering the questions, the result told that my dominant communication style was a combination of supportive and initiating communication style. The supportive communication style part made sense because I felt I was a supportive friend, at least to my closest circle. My friends thought I was the person who they like to have long conversation with, and I was the person who asked them follow-up questions and tried to understand myself from their shoes. And I liked to understand how people thought and felt. So I thought supportive communication style came naturally to me. But did I also have initiating communication style? One incident reminded me that I did have it. That was from a house party which I attended few months back. In that house party, everyone were almost new to me. However, I was excited and happy to be there. Everyone were forming groups, talking, sharing stories, making jokes, etc. And I was happy just listening and observing to everyone. If someone asked me a question, I would respond. And if someone told me a story, I would react. However, beyond that, I was the quiet person listening supportively to everyone. But after some time, something changed. I got comfortable with people around me. And suddenly, I found myself saying things like, hey, let's play this game. Hey, I have a better story to tell. Or hey, let's go to the balcony. And initially, those people that told Manjarika, you should try to open your mouth and speak more, eventually started telling Manjarika, please shut up sometimes. The quiet observer slowly became the one who was initiating conversations and suggesting things. That made me realize I indeed have a supportive and initiating communication style. And I loved it because I was able to make amazing friends and I was able to create close bonds with people in a shorter period. But like every communication style, my communication style had its own downsides. My communication style worked best when I had genuine connection with people, which means my communication style would not always work in every situations with people who had other different communication styles. For example, my manager had a direct and analytical communication style. For him, everything is numbers, timelines, man hours, and estimations. When I tried to explain to my manager the efforts, the context, and the thought process behind my task, my manager was quick to ask, when will it finish? What is the estimation? How long will it take? And I was not able to find out the perfect way to communicate with him. I got so worried that one day I went to my colleague and confessed, I don't know why our manager doesn't understand me. To which my colleague replied one thing that I will never forget. My colleague told me, see, first of all, he is not your boyfriend to try to understand you. He is your manager. And if he is expecting numbers, you have to communicate with him in numbers and be proactive about it so that he will not come behind you. And suddenly, that made so much sense because I realized communication is not about understanding your own style. Communication is about understanding other people's styles also and adapting to it. And in this situation, I had to learn my manager's preferred communication style, which was talking in terms of numbers, timelines, and estimations. I realized that while one's own communication style has its own strengths, communication is not about staying in your comfort zone. It is about understanding what the situation requires. Some situations require you to listen carefully and ask follow-up questions. Some situations require you to pitch in, give ideas, and start conversations. And some situations require you to stand up and tell this task will take 3 days and it will be completed by Tuesday. I realized that more than understanding, more than understanding other people's communication style, it is also about understanding the situation in which you are in so that the best way to communicate with them will be understood. And the next time when I communicate with someone, I would know that I should not only think about my own communication style, but I should also think about which is the best style to use for this situation. And if everything else fails, I can always send them a reel. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjarika, for communicating about your communication style so clearly. Now we will open the voting links to vote for the best prepared speaker for the day. You can navigate to bit.ly, BHTM vote 1 and vote for the best speaker. It is bit.ly/BHTM vote 1. If anyone is having any trouble, let me know.
For internet connectivity, if you are not able to use your hotspot or mobile data, use Mushroom's own Wi-Fi and the password is Mushroom. Just connect to the project. Yeah.
It's not detected.
Yes.
And I can put it on.
It was literally in the-
Yeah, so. Just go down, go back. It's a right.
Is have completed the hosting? And
So we've got 7 votes so far, requesting every single person to please vote. This feedback is really important. The number we're looking to hit is at least 20. Okay. So in case you're finding any of the section 4, please understand for highlights and areas of improvement, all you have to do is select at least one box, right? At least one box, please select. The number we're looking for is 20. We'll give it 1 more minute and then we can go.
Recording in progress.
So we explored 5 qualities in the meeting today that creates a magical ripple effect in our lives. Kindness, love, courage, resilience, and friendship. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, are you prepared to spend a moment to reflect on these qualities and acknowledge the magic that it has created in your own lives? In your seats, you will find a card with a specific quality written on it. I invite you to spend 30 seconds to write the first thought that comes to your mind when you read that quality. It could be a person, an incident from your life, anything. Spend 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds, I will invite any 2 random people on stage. Oh. After 30 seconds, you can all stand up and just show the cards and what you've got. So, timer. Yeah, you can. All right, everyone time's up. So can everyone stand up? And yeah.
As that, my heart says friendship and I wrote to reach back to my close friends.
So anyone else stand up? Yes.
It was kindness and I didn't write anything because I don't have a friend, but it's Megawatan who was my friend back in college. Okay, he was very kind to me during his travel.
Yes.
My heart is courage, and his courage is out the door.
Ooh. Good one. Courage and poverty dog. Anyone else?
I had resilience, and with resilience, I reflected about my mother. Her love, her gestures for every failures I made, and then her motivation to recover.
Mine also says kindness, and the only thing which comes to my head is an incident of a rat picker feeding a stray dog.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for sharing your thoughts and creating moments of magic in this meeting. With that, I hand over the stage to our table topic master for the day, Pooja.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. The theme is magic within us, but the real magic happens in everyday life and in action. The power is in love when we care, the kindness when we give, the resilience when we rise again, and the valor when we take the courage to step forward despite uncertainty. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day, valor. Welcome to the table topic segment. The objective of this segment is to think quickly, organize our thought, and speak impromptu. Now, I have 2 rules. First rule is the time rule. At 1 minute, I show you green card. At 1.5 minutes, we have yellow card, and at 2 minutes, we have red card. And the rule of the game. I have a spin. So when I call upon a participant, we spin a wheel. The color it shows, that is the cue. You can pick up a chit from the bowl and your question lies there. So can we have the participants? Are we ready?
Yes.
Dev Shah, are you ready? Yes. Okay, okay, courage. Tell us about a moment when you acted despite fear. Tell us about a moment when you acted despite fear. It's
Those who know me, they know that I am fine. But rather, I am the courage the cowardly dog agrees on it. I'm almost scared about everything and anything in life. Will I get late? Will I get laid off? Will I get a good score? Will I fail in the exams? I think entire life I would have spent over it. Now talking about a simple fear. First of all, that simple fear comes from reading the news. War is happening. Trump has made new rules. I don't know what will happen to my job. Every day I wake up and think he is going to have some rules in America that is going to impact India. That is anyway going to impact people over here. Oracle is anyways firing. I'll also get fired. And then I have sleepless nights and bad dreams. Talking about another gas. Everyone is facing a gas problem right now. What if the gas price goes up? How will you save money? Because the price is not going to come back. And then the endless things continues. So then I have realized one thing. There are a lot of things that I do out of fear. Overthink also out of fear. But it is important that at times we have to create boundaries for us. We have to sit back and think about situations and how it might impact us immediately and might impact us later. So I have decided for myself, whichever is going to impact me later, think about it, but keep it aside. Think about the things that is going to impact me immediately. And I think that is something that has been sustaining me so far. But I don't know how Trump will create another rule and wage another war. And after gas, I might lose out on watching television and electricity. When it will come and when it will hit me, I don't know. But all I can do is sleep and wake up and go to my office the next day. With that, over to you.
Yeah. But then Toastmasters are there to ease off your weekly thoughtful tensions. Can we have another guest?
Shankar.
Shankar? Yeah, okay, Shankar, please. Friendship.
I have a friend who has had a lasting impact on my life.
Describe a friend who has had a lasting impact on your life. Describe a friend who has had a lasting impact on your life.
Okay, so a friend that's had an impact in my life, a lasting impact, that would have to be a friend that I grew up with since I was about 10 years old. They only left my life, I think, last 5 years, they moved away to the US. They're still alive, sorry, if that didn't come out very clear. And growing with such a person since the age of 10, and I moved to Bangalore for the first time, till about what, 2019 is when they left the US. Each sort of situation that we go through, we've grown up together, played together, almost studied together. So I think that's something which I feel, and I truly feel that stays with you. And I think I've missed that person for quite a bit as well. I do get to see him like probably once every 5 years. So I think next month's gonna happen in another 5 years from now. Sorry, that's pretty much all that I would like to say. Thank you.
Come the next time you with your friend, surely got to come to Toastmasters. You'll find many. All right. Can we have some, Sangam? Yes. Kindness. Can a small act of kindness truly change someone's life? Can a small act of kindness truly change someone's life? Share your example.
So kindness, it's the ability to feel other people's pain and response towards it. So I'll take this with example of my life, that how my own personal life has changed because of kindness from what other people has shown towards me. So when I was in 8th standard, I was in a school having fun, and suddenly I got a news that I have to head back to my home. Later that day, I got to know that my father died. So I come from a very less income family, and at that time, I did not had any idea that what is going on, and neither did my family. So I, compared to my brother, got a chance to study in a good English medium school in a city in Dehradun. I got the chance to do BTech, and I got the chance to come to Bangalore and explore all these places and got to meet some wonderful people. These would not have been possible if my family, my relatives, and my friends have not shown the kindness in helping me to get the study, in helping me uh, in doing my school, in my graduation, and in various aspects of life. Also, when I look at other people, when I come to Bright Hearts, I still remember I struggle a very lot. But somewhere, someone random person will come that you're speaking like this, you need to improve this, and without even asking. And that's also a kindness, because whenever we are coming in a club or going in a place and someone is giving suggestions, if they choose, they don't have to give, but they give. And that's how it impacts a person's life. Thank you.
I can absolutely resonate in the position of a father as a pillar. All right. Can we have a guest now? Next member I got. Arpit, can we have you? What is harder, speaking up or staying silent? Share your perspective. What is harder, speaking up or staying silent?
Oh, that's a tough question. Both of the things, speaking up and staying silent, are harder in their own perspective. Suppose something wrong is happening with you. In that case, staying silent is a more difficult thing. But if some if that thing doesn't affect you, speaking up is also a difficult thing. So, yes, both of them, but my perspective is speaking up is a more difficult thing in case it doesn't affect you. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Okay.
Can we have a member now? Okay, Shashank. Resilience. Can you pick up a chip from there? The same color? Purple? Is failure necessary for your growth? If yes, then why? If no, then why? Is failure necessary for your growth? Why and why not?
So I hope, all of you know, as they say, failure is the stepping stone for success. So I feel my perspective is that failure is definitely necessary for your growth. It indicates that if you never fail, you are not trying anything new. So that's what I would say. Failure is definitely necessary to experiment, to come out of your comfort zone and try something new, which eventually get you there. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Can we have another guest, Sri Hari?
Hari, 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 Hari.
Somebody has love to do.
Finally.
Can I read it? Have you ever struggled to express love? What did you learn from it? Have you ever struggled to express love? And what did you learn?
I think, yeah, I can relate a lot to this topic that I've been given. I have always struggled to express my love, be it with my parents, my sister, or even my nieces, who are only 2 years and 7 years now. I think it is important that you express love with whoever, because there is no other way. Like, people always complain me, be it my mom, why don't you talk to me often about, don't tell your stories from office, tell your story from school. But I don't really do that ever. So I think I struggle every day to express love, and I don't know how to fix it. It's something that I'm working on. I'm slowly talking to people, spending more time with my family, because I've been away from a long time after my schooling. So yeah, it's something I'm working on. I don't know if it's for it, but I'll find something.
I don't think you're in the right place. Can we have Ravikant now?
Hari, 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 Hari.
Friendship. Yes. How do friendship help us grow as an individual? How do friendship help us grow as an individual? Thank you.
Hi everyone. To be very frank, today I don't have the where to come onto the stage. For some reason, since I woke up at around 1 p.m. afternoon, I was feeling low. But thanks, Manjarika, for pushing on to the stage. And so I personally feel like friendship really helps us to grow up as an individual, especially when you're going through some tough. So back in my college in IIT Bhubaneswar, I made a stunt which affected me both mentally and physically. So it was even pre-final year when I had to start preparing for my campus placements. But I didn't have any kind of motivation. Like, I was just trying my best to get some kind of motivation, but
I was just dragging through all the days. But then I realized that, in order to be successful, you should go through some kind of pain, like the mental pain or the physical pain, so that at the end, you will get success. So I have seen that pattern in many movies, and especially like when I watch the movie Rockstar, like there is one particular scene which clearly mentions that people who go through the pain, they shine like anything, I think. So I experimented it on myself. I stopped eating like I used to eat once a day. I used to sleep like maybe like 20 hours. I stopped going to the classes, and I started watching a lot of kindness content, which makes you so like mentally weak. So after 1 month, it started hitting me. Like I started having anxiety issues, and I couldn't go to the classes even if I wanted to. So in the beginning of the semester only, I told my friends that I'm going to do something very odd this time, and like that I will fail in the subjects. So before even the classes started. So I didn't some exams. So I failed in the exams. Like in the mid semester, I barely scored like 0 or 1 mark. And I used to go to the exams very late, like after 30 minutes, about 10 minutes. So at some time, it became out of control. Like I couldn't even help myself to come back to my original phase. So like it passed, like 3 months passed, and people are understanding something is going wrong with this guy, but nobody is uh, stepping forward to me to in order to help me. But there was one guy like called as Megavardhan. He was my roommate in the very first year. So he understood like, okay, something is going wrong, and he started coming to my room every day. Like took me out of the room like at least 30 to 45 minutes a day. He started giving me motivation. And after the final semester, after cleaning my backlogs, I started from the scratch. Like I was the like lowest uh, score person who scored in that semester, but still I started from the scratch, and I was the first person to get placed in my entire batch. Like even people who got like above 9, they couldn't make it, but I could make it. So yeah, that person really helped me to come out of my toughest.
First year, similar in our lives. Do we have the time, Neksha? We can have one. Is anybody interested? All right, with that, I end my segment. I will pass over the stage to Jean.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How was the meeting till now? Great. Awesome. Great. Now we have the evaluation segment where I'll be calling the evaluators of each and every speaker, and they will evaluate them. Let me call up the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Elango.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear guest. Special good evening to my speaker, Srina. Srina, your purpose of the speech is to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of the speech. Congratulations, you have met your purpose. Today, we got to know about Srina from his birth, schooling, college, and first job. This is my takeaway from your speech. Mr. Toastmaster Srina, what I like more about your speech is the structure, as I said. You started from birth, schooling, college, and first job, which you joined in T6. And what I like more about in your speech today is your confidence. I'm sure I felt it is not your first speech, how you delivered on the stage front of every audience. Kudos to you. Keep it up. What I like more about that, apart from the confidence, is the flawless of your speech. It is not that you start anywhere. You start at till end, your flow is continuous. Alongside, I have two recommendations to level your speech to next level. One, vocal variety and body language. You said you got an offer in TCS and you received the first month's salary. You would have demonstrated like, I got an offer in TCS, which is in one of the top MNC company. Then you received the, I received first month salary. Wow. Like also you said, first year, you ride the bike and smoke, which you feel the freedom. Also, you would have demonstrated. I ride the bike. Then. I feel the freedom of the life like that. In my opinion, if these two recommendations, along with that, your strength, structure of the speech, and the confidence, it will, if you implement in next speech, it will take it to next level. With that, thank you. That's me.
Now I will call on the next evaluator for German. The evaluator is Toastmaster Deepak.
So good evening, white hearts and dear guests. Today, we have given a speech on evaluation and feedback. And she talked about how to make your presence felt. So your presence was her speech title. What I liked a lot really is that you started with you just focused on how was I feeling inside when before, and then when you talk about your experience of coming up, thinking about that I'm going to show up today, I'm going to raise my hand and I'm going to talk about it. But you were hesitant and you were not proactive, and that is why it was not going to the next level. And then the next part of the project, next part of the speech was more about what I thought about this and how do I come up with an idea to push me to the next level. Which where you said that whenever I join a meeting, I will switch on the light and then I will say hello to the host. So that was one. Another one was when your friend forced you or enticed you to get into the business meeting, and that went very well. Now, I think um, the structure of the speech, I found little difficulty in going through the structure of the speech because you're coming from the top and going to your, you know, to a solution for how do I take care of myself now. It could have been like summarized in the beginning that this is about my problem of not able to solve my present state in meetings, and I will tell you how I overcome that. And then I'll start from what happened in the college, and then later on in the job, later on in the meetings and all that. So a structure, which means audience is ready to start from where you are and take through the path that you have followed. Apart from that, obviously, body language or rather stage presence and all that, using the stage space and all that will come later on. But you need to make the communication clear. That is something I would recommend, and you will be I look forward to better speeches than this, and all the very best.
Now I would call the evaluator for a third speaker, Banjarika. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Aditya.
Good evening, everyone, and a special good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Banjarika. Thank you for reiterating that WhatsApp and Reels have become the new form of communication, and your manager is not your boyfriend. But congratulations, you did achieve your speech objectives, which was aimed at identifying your communication styles and then emphasizing what is your primary style. Though I do have some feedback, and I'll divide this feedback into two parts. First, what went well, the second is the area of improvement. When it comes to what went well for me, I felt that it was a serious topic. These projects are usually about corporate life, something that you have faced in reality, and you had numerous incidents which kept it very, very light and engaged the audience throughout your speech. So that was the first highlight. Second, your pace was not bad. You gave examples, which was really, really relatable, and you also kept the structure good. And the third is your storytelling skills. You are a great storyteller when it comes to speaking on stage, and it was evident today as well. Coming to the areas of improvement, I did feel that adaptability is the key, which is your title, was not going very well with the overall structure of the speech. You said that you were somewhere in between supportive and initiation, which means somewhere in the middle. You did speak about your friends, and it was clear that when you are out with your friends, you're talking about being very supportive with them and how you initiate arguments and conversations with them, but not with your manager. With your manager, you are very silent because he's very direct and analytical. My suggestion were there would have, why don't you recommend your boss on how to approach some of the presentations, right? That could have been an initiation point for your corporate life, apart from being supportive as far as his arguments are concerned. So that's one overall improvement area that I suggest. Second, I felt that right at the start, you could have asked the audience, how many of you know about your communication style? And then realized, boom, I didn't know until I reflected after a survey, right? That you could have started with, and goes for the conclusion, like how many of you really leverage your communication style to your advantage? So maybe add both the start and the finish properly. And I felt that your body language was a little bit stiff today. Maybe it comes down to level of preparation. We could have been more vocal, like for example, oh, Manjarika, let's go for a party, or let's go and order some food and play some games. I think that vocal variety was missing. So overall, great humor, good pace, good storytelling skills. I felt the content was a bit scattered, did not have a proper call to action for the audience. The title could have been better. Also, bit of stage movement, which you realized towards the end, you finally started doing. I felt that you could have done that throughout your speech. Improvement on your body language and vocal variety. And yes, your speech will be ready for the next level. With that, back to our Dumbledore.
With that, I would like to call my first magician from the team, Toastmaster Dharmendra, to show some magic with his voice.
Once again, Toastmasters. So we spoke more kindness. There is one words like which I remember. That is, we spoke like earlier. What is not kindness? Now, as a smallest act of kindness, what can be this? So before evaluating this, I'd like to put in कि अगर आपके मीठे दो सब किसी के शरीर में दो बूंद खून भी बढ़ाती है, that is also kindness. So this is the reason, like you speak sweetly, sweet as sugar, sweet as honey, because poet, our famous poet like Kabir Das once said, ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा कोई ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा कोई औरों को शीतल लगे आपको शीतल कोई. So keep speaking nicely, sweetly. With that, I'd like to give the timers for the speakers. Like Pranav took 5 minutes 39 seconds. Soj, so 57 seconds. The guest took 21 seconds. Sri Hari took 20 seconds. Sankar took 16.92 seconds. Sneha took overall timing 11 minutes 25 seconds. And Priyan's overall took 9 minutes 30 seconds. Avinash took 2 minutes 34 seconds. Varun took 3 minutes 49 seconds. Sujit took 50.55 milliseconds. Elango took 1 minute 29 seconds. Coming to the tabletop topic host, Pooja took 2 minutes 38 seconds. Devsa took 2 minutes 18 seconds. Sankar guest took 1 minute 06 seconds. Sangam took 2 minutes 25 seconds. Arpit took 36 seconds. Sasank took 27.02 seconds. Sri Hari took 47.049 milliseconds. Ravi took 2.52 seconds. And coming to the ice-breaking speeches, Srinath took 4 minutes 45 seconds. And Junmi, as prepared speakers, took 5 minutes 41 seconds. Manjarika took 6.03 seconds. Coming to the evaluation section, Srinath took 3.35 seconds. Deepak took 3.56 seconds. And Aditya took 3.12 seconds. Having said that, this was all related to time taken by the speakers. Still, before ending, I'd like to say who are not kind in this Toastmasters, club members, guests. If you think you are not kind, anyone? All are kind, right? Okay, I have a very good sort of nod, like when Arjuna speaks to Krishna that he don't want to fight, that all are my brothers, how can I fight? And like he was like in dilemma whether I should fight or not. Then Krishna didn't got angry because he was running his chariot and he was preparing for war for a long time. So he didn't got angry. Instead, what he did, he listened him very carefully. He listened him patiently, and having said that, listening is also a kindness. So if everyone in a Toastmasters listening, is kind Santi. We all are kind of people here. Thank you.
Now I would like to call my next magician, the R counter for the day, Toastmaster Abhinash.
Good evening, diehards. I'm back with the reports. To summarize today's observation, I have grouped the speaker into three categories: Group A, Group B, and Group C. Group A represents a speaker with minimal CRPF usage. Group B represents speaker with minor CRPF usage, and Group C more CRPF usage. So in Group A, we have Pranav, Sayuj, Ilango, Pooja, Varun, and Priyans. In Group B, we have Manjarika, Srinath, Devsa, Arpit, Sasank, Srihari, and Aditya. And rest of the speakers are in Group C. In my report, I have noted down which CRPF words and how many times each speaker used. Interested speaker can follow up offline. Thank you.
Now I would like to call the third magician of my team, the grammarian of the day. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Varun.
Let me now show you the valor I witnessed today in the words of every speaker that stood before you. Firstly, thanks to Sina and Ravikant who used the valor today. Thanks for that. Next, let's see some areas of improvement where we can improve grammar together. Priyans, while you're explaining the rules, you have told this line. If you wish so, you can do so during the applause. You can have rephrased it like, if you wish to do so, you may do so during the applause. Would sound better. Srinath, while giving your speech, you have given one line. Let's restart my life and join TCS. You could have rephrased it as, let me join TCS and restart my life. Sangam, while giving your table topic speech, you have told, I used to struggle a very lot. Instead, you could rephrase it as, I used to struggle very much. Ravikant, while giving table topic speech, you have mentioned that nobody is stepping to me in order to help me. Instead, you could rephrase as, nobody is stepping forward to help me. That would sound even better. And coming to highlights of the words today, Sneha, she has many highlights. One of those are, she was flustered that she got a new necklace. That was a great usage of words there. One act of love, one gesture of kindness triggered a chain reaction. And what's the worst that can happen, which I tell to myself every day. Jurmil, opportunity don't come to those who wait. It comes to those who create it. That was a great usage of phrase there. Manjarika, communication style doesn't mean understanding your style. It is also about understanding others' communication styles. And coming to the grammarian challenge for the day. Anyone remember the challenge? What was the challenge given? Correct. It's a rule of 3. I see Manjarika used in her prepared speech. I know if, without knowing she might have used it. But that's a great usage of vocabulary is what I'm trying to say. And the sentence was, for my manager, it was all about timeline, man hours and estimations. So instead of making it a simple line, you made it in 3 distinctive words to make it sound even better. So that is one rule of 3. I encourage everyone to use it in real life as well. That would improve your vocabulary a lot. That's it for the grammarian report. Back to WTech.
Thank you. Now I would like to call the fourth magician of my team, the one with some great listening skills. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sujit.
Hello all, good evening you once again. So throughout the meeting, I was listening to each and everyone, and I prepared some questions for you to answer. So first of all, I need to set guidelines. So when I ask upon a question, please raise your hand. Don't say answers out loud. I'll pick one, or then he or she can answer the question. And there is again, you will get a chocolate once if you answer it correctly. The South will distribute the chocolates. That's fine. Okay. So the first question for you all is, where did Srinath join as a fresher and which city? Okay, you can ask. TCS Pune. Yes, correct. Okay, little bit tricky. What was the topic of Jumin's speech? Not Jumin. Okay, Deepak can. Okay, Ravikant, you can. Yes, correct. Okay. Which year did Shankar's close friend move to US? Anyone remember? Which year? Which year? Okay, so now
2019.
yes, correct. Which movies were mentioned throughout the meetings? Movie names.
Oh.
Okay, Srinath, and one more movie. Okay, you can answer.
Rockstar.
Yes. Okay. What was Manjarika's manager communication style? Okay. Actually, you want to answer? Okay, that's fine.
It's an animal.
Okay. Which all three things worry Dev Shah more? Three things she worries about. One by one. Pooja, you want to? Yes, I know. Okay, actually,
Gas is losing her job, and I don't know exactly what the title of what.
yeah, correct. Which city did Sangam complete his schooling? Which city did Sangam complete his schooling? Okay, Priyansh. Yeah. Oh, easy. Okay. So, what is Manjarika's communication style? Okay, Shankar.
Hey,
Not the joke answer. Not the joke answer, but okay.
but we can give job. We can give.
There are.
I think it's very interesting.
Okay. Correct. Chocolate to her. Okay, one last and difficult question I'll ask. How much time did Sneha took to find the cat? All right. Okay, Aditya, you can answer.
1 hour 15 minutes.
Correct. Now that you all answered the questions correctly, I can conclude that all we are very good listeners. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How much time do I have? Okay, so let's see if I can create that magic and took up the magic style in this room. I'll start with SA, Pranav. You had a great start in the end when you started with a high note. Just very small nitpick I have for you, where there was a technical glitches. Maybe you could have tested it before. If that was not working, maybe you could have overcome with some new ideas. That could have been incorporated in a short span of time because you wasted, not wasted, you took around 5 minutes in that. Next is presiding officer of the day, Saij. You started the meeting with a very high note with a smiling face, covered everything about Bright Hearts and how we have achieved everything. And the MOM activity was very great. Just very small nitpick I have for you, where the MOM link was not available with the guest and then Akshay has to shout out that it's available on Instagram. Maybe you could have done that from the stage. It would have been easy for everyone. Guest introduction, Arpit, Srihari and Shankar, you guys had a great intro on the stage. Very well done. Next is Sneha. Great theme you incorporated and the way you bifurcated everything. While the first speaker was there, you told about kindness, then the second speaker you told about courage, and the third one you were telling about resilience. Greatly incorporated each of the words which you shared in the theme. Just one minor nitpick. Maybe you could have had some activity in between the speeches because continuously we all were listening. Maybe some energizer or something in the between that could have helped us to keep us more engaged. Now the time at Dharmendra. It was great how you incorporated the theme in the start with some quotes, but in the end, maybe you could have missed that because that exceeded your time and that was too much for everyone to observe that much of quotes and all. So maybe in the start only you could have put that kindness theme, and in the end you could have just come up with a report and say, yeah, this is my report, this is the timing for everyone. The next is Abhinash. You explained the rules very well, and you incorporated the theme as well. And the group description which you had, where is Abhinash's? Group description which you had, like group A, group B, group C, that was good, but maybe you could have given each of the person how many hours and hums they have used. Maybe like, and you were having that much of time. Maybe you said that you will give them offline. You have that much time on stage that you could have given that report, full report on the stage as well. Next is Varun. You also incorporated the theme in the start really well. Great, great word of the day. You pointed out who all used it. Just a minor nitpick for you. While you're giving the suggestion for not so good English, maybe you could miss the person's name saying it. Just say that this line was not good and this is the proper line usage of that person will already get to know that yeah, I have spoken this wrong. Next is Sujit. You explained the rules of the game very well, where you came up and stood out the guideline that hey, you only need to speak when you raise your hand. That is really great, well done, because else this section really becomes a chaos where everyone keeps on shouting the name. Very well done on that. Just very short nitpick, maybe you could have kept track of time because you exceeded a little. Next, I will directly jump on to table topic speaker. I'll cover the speakers in the end. I'll start with table topic master. You introduced the table topic section very well, encouraged all of us to use the word of the day, even gave the timing guidelines, and you also had a unique way of giving the table topics. Just a very minor nitpick for you. When you were giving the feedback, let's suppose a speaker has given his table topic and you were just commenting or giving the feedback on that time,
You were giving it when the applause was going, so we could not hear it. So maybe like when the applause goes down, you could speak up, encouraged. I'll start with the table topic speaker one, Dev Shah. You had a topic, tell us a moment when you acted despite fear. You told about three different incidents and great story, great structure. Just a minor nitpick, maybe you could have incorporated one single story and because the topic was tell us about a moment, maybe a moment where you felt despite of fear you did something. You could have done it that way. Let everything else. There is guest Shankar. You described a friend who had lasting impact on you. You had a personal story. You started off very well, and you also told about you were missing him. Everything was great. Maybe you could have extended that time by telling what impact that friend has left on you. Incorporating that you would have qualified also, but as we said, like for the table topic, we have at least minimum of 1 minute you have to speak on stage, and you missed that. So maybe by saying this, you could have covered that time and qualified. Next is Sangam. A small act of kindness changed someone else's life. You speak up very boldly. You came up speaking up about some personal story which is of such kind, and talking on stage is not an easy job. You did it in a very good way. Very small nitpick for you. Like in the start, you had some unintentional claps, like you were clasping your hand and there was a clap sound coming. This happened at least 4 or 5 times. So maybe you could have kept that in mind while collapsing your hands. Then the next speaker is Tusma. Yes, sir. You got a topic of speaking up or staying silent. You came up on stage and said that both topic is hard for me, and then explained your take about speaking up is something hard. Maybe you have talked a little more on speaking up and how you find it difficult in somewhere where you are communicating. That could have helped you. Then is Shashank. Failure is necessary for young growth. You started with a quote. That's a really good thing. You had a very short story. Maybe you could have talked for some more time. You ended your topic very early. Then is Srihari. Have you ever struggled to showcase love? You talked about parents, family, everything was really good. Maybe you could have also talked a little more about like how you face difficulty in expressing love with your parents or family, and then what you are trying to do to overcome that thing. Maybe you could have talked about those things. Then is Ravikant, friendship help us grow as an individual. You had a really great take on the topic where you talked about college placement preparation, and then you decided to go through some pain to have the realization, and then to, how your friend helped you in getting out of it. Very well taken. The only feedback I have for you that you exceeded a time by just 1 second. So maybe you could have keep it within the time. Else your take was really great. Now I will cover up the speakers and the evaluators. First evaluator Ilango. You had a great intro while the speaker came up on stage, and your evaluation was also great, where you mentioned about the structure, flawless, and voice modulation. You also gave the example how the speaker can incorporate those. The only one feedback I have for you, while you were introducing, you missed telling the objective of the speech. So we would not know as the audience that what is the objective of that speech. Maybe you could have incorporated that. Srinath, great speech as an icebreaker. I could not feel that you were giving a speech. It was really like a well-prepared speech. The one thing that your hands were always like this. Maybe you could have used something, keep your hands down, or use it in some other way. But throughout your whole 5 minutes or 6 minutes speech, your hands were like this. Maybe you could have used somewhere else, so keep it. Next is Deepak. You explained the objective of the speech and you clearly mentioned the highlights, which highlights of the speech and not so good thing like the structure and clear communication for German. That is, I really totally resonate with that. The only one thing which I have for you is like you can structure your evaluation. You were telling the highlights and then you directly jump to areas of improvement. And I sitting here could not like you. Are you telling the highlights or improvement? Maybe in the start when you come on stage and you can say like I will start with telling the highlights, then areas of improvement, and then a summary. German, you had a great speech, explained everything well. You had a great content, how you became a confident speaker, then an MBA story, office story. All the stories were really great. One thing which I was missing as the audience is, let's suppose you could have added some personal story during your office session where you were telling about, you could start a meeting and greet everyone. Maybe you could tell about, yeah, one day I was in office and greeted him like that. That could have been help us visualize it a little more. Then is Aditya. Clearly explained the objective and the evaluation was also very great where you pointed out the storyteller hubris incident. And also it clearly mentioned the area of improvement for her and the summary. No feedback for you. Everything was great. Then is Manjarika. Great speech. You had, by the end of your speech, we were all able to know that what's your communication style. Well done on that part. Maybe small feedback for you. Maybe when you were showing the conversation with your manager, maybe you could have changed your voice and say, shown your manager's communication style that, hey, Manjarika, can you do this in this time limit? That could have been great. That covers all the speakers who came on stage regarding the meeting. Everything was set up on time. Maybe one thing which I would suggest Devsha is like if the tech setup is not working, maybe you could have informed the speakers who have slides or something that we are not having the projector today, so that it could have been easy for Pranav to like incorporate that. And now we have the line open for voting. The voting link is bit.ly BHPM vote 2. Guys, please don't vote right now.
Folks, please stop voting.
Everyone can vote now. Please, if there is a network issue, you can log into the Wi-Fi. The password is mushroom. Everything is fine. The name of the Wi-Fi is mushroom to the Wi-Fi.
Folks, please keep on voting if you have not voted.
Practice voting. Now.
I would like to call the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Sai.
How's the Josh? I am. How's the Josh?
Hi.
Great. What a wonderful meeting we had. The magic in the air. I would like to appreciate few people. Priyansh. Sneha. Raghavendra. Sujit. And Preena. These are the first time role takers in their specific roles, and that took a lot of courage to do that. So great job, guys. Thank you. So as Devsha creates the result, the certificate, also want to thank few other people. Akshay, Aditya, and Devsha. What do you think we have in common?
Mentors.
Exactly. They're great set of mentors, and we have great set of mentors mentoring each and every one of you week in and week out. And personally, for me, as I said, it's been a year since I've been in Bright Hearts. I don't think so without those mentors, I would have been in this position to talk so freely with you guys. So thank you, mentors. And as a token of our appreciation, each member, I would want each member to ensure that once you get the role, the assigned mentor, please reach out to them, get that down for your role, right? It's very important that you get that so that when you come on stage, that fear doesn't stay. You have the courage, you have everything, and you can perform on stage, right? So thank you, guys. So I do have a couple of announcements to make. Next week, we will not have our meeting, but 26th, we're going to have a speech marathon. And this speech marathon is only for icebreakers. Okay, so we're going to have 6 people speaking on stage for the first time. Okay. And along with that, the idea is the evaluators of these would be level 2 speakers. And we're doing this because it gives a level playing field for all the speakers and the evaluators to come on stage and shine. Okay, so look out for that. The 6 speakers are ready. We'll have the evaluators out soon, and Toastmaster also out soon. Now, next is, I mentioned that we are not having a meeting next week. You know the reason why? Right. So April 18th, we are having our division contest, and we're going to have our club contestant battling it out next week. And we also have 4 role takers from our Bright Hearts taking part in the contest. Right? So I'll invite Akshay to talk about that.
We'll try something. Just see if you guys can catch, follow along. Okay, it goes like this. It goes bright hearts, bright hearts. Bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts. Did you notice something about that? Like we were all clapping, we were all chanting, but there were some voices that were more powerful than the others. Devsha was resonating, Pranav, loud as always, Priyansh, so loud. But then there were some people I missed, right? Their voices were a little lower, maybe faded into the background, and it got me thinking. And this is a question for all of you. Don't say the answer out loud. Just think your answer. If Bright Hearts were a movie, who would be the main character? Don't answer. Think about it, right? April 18th, we are all heading into our second conference as a Toastmasters club. It is the final division conference of the year, after which it's district, it's crescendo, those people are going to Kerala, have already booked their tickets. But this is the final major conference of the year. And do you know which club is going to have the most registrants? It is? Right. You're wrong. It is not going to be. It is going to be HSR Toastmasters by far. HSR Toastmasters had an active membership of 41 members. And for their most recent area conference, they had 29 people show up. 29 people for an area conference. Are we going to be able to match that numbers? That is yet to be seen. That depends on each and every one of us. But I'm here to tell you today that it's not about quantity. It's about quality. And the specific quality I'm talking about is the quality of being the main character. April 18th, Autodesk, when we go to Embassy Tech Village in Dombivli, I want each and every one of you to represent Bright Hearts proudly. When people come to you and tell you, oh, you're from Bright Hearts, you beam with pride and say, yes, I am. When you see someone sitting alone from a very small club of just 12 members, you go to them, you talk to them, you say, hey, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. And when every single contestant comes on that stage for every single contest, whether it's me or anyone else, regardless of who it is, you will share the same. Why? Because it's not about quantity, it's the quality of main character energy. April 18th, Money, the entire executive committee, and of course myself, we are all hoping that Bright Hearts creates the biggest impact. Last year, our division conference, some of us were there. It was amazing how despite being of a smaller number than HSR Toastmasters, we created a big impact. And that's what we're looking to do this coming Saturday as well. Remember the question I asked you? If Bright Hearts were a movie, who is the main character? The answer is Sneha. The answer is Jun. The answer is Sangha. It's Pooja. It's Manjarika. It's Ravika. It's Aditya. It's Shashank. It's Arpit. It's Varun. The answer is that in Bright Hearts Toastmasters, every single one of us is the main character. Every single one of us is a hero. Because that's the right way to do things. In Bright Hearts, we are all the protagonists. April 18th, bring your main character energy. Let's make it the most memorable day of our Toastmasters calendar year. Because in Bright Hearts, we don't just do things the good or great way. We do things the right way. And we are going to do Invictus the right way. Because the right way is the right way. And now, before I get the stage, let's try this chant one last time.
But this time, when you clap and when you chant, I want each of you to remember that you are the main character and clap and chant accordingly. Bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts, bright hearts. Let's go back to Zion.
That was just a preview to what you will see on April 18th. So if you haven't registered yet, I think everyone has, please do. Today is the last day. Okay, with that, come for K. Let's start with the best auxiliary role. Toastmaster Varun. Okay, so Varun, that was an awesome auxiliary role. Grammarian, you really brought on a different take to that, and also talking about those 3 words, that was very insightful. Thank you so much. The best table topic speaker is Deb Shah. Deb Shah, you had a wonderful take on Trump and the gas. And I feel you when you talked about the gas because you went through that. But a great table topics. Next is the best role player. Toastmaster Pooja. Pooja, your wheel was just innovative. Me and Aditya and Mani were discussing during our the 75th meeting how to make that work. And what you proved today is too many cooks spoil the broth. So great execution, great topics that you had, wonderful. Next is best evaluator, Toastmaster Aditya. Aditya, that was a great evaluation. Your sense of humor is something that I always admire. And the evaluation is also crisp and to the point. Great work. Now, to the best speaker, Toastmaster Manjarika. Manjarika, the speech, as Aditya pointed out, was supposed to be heavy, but you made it so light. And I was completely engrossed in your speech. And especially the point where you said manager is not my boyfriend. Great speech. Just some final words. Please make sure that you guys clear the room, clean the room before you guys leave. And with that, I declare the meeting 77 closed. There's also one thing, let's come over, take the photo, and we also need to take a video, a short video, couple of birthday wishes, and also some other division that we have to do. So let's get started. We have around 15 minutes to close it out. Let's get going.